Buongiorno. Of course, I have to put in my little 2 cents on that brand new Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato 33 Intense. I did wait a little bit for my review because number one, I thought I was added to the PR list for 2023 because that's what I was told after my review of the Vanilla Royale. If you didn't catch it, I'll put it up bong right there. I sent them a message and they left your girl on red. So they hurt my little feelings. It's okay. So I ended up getting it when it launched on Sephora, not the glitch, a regular launch date. Sat with it for a couple of days and now I'm here to share my thoughts with you. But before I do, if you're new here, hey, I'm Chichi and I talk about all things lavish but logical. So if that's your sort of thing, go ahead, subscribe, make some friends in the comment section and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. All right, so let me paint the picture. So we're in Italy and we decide, we're gonna go to the gelato place. I open up my door and boom, I get a burst of lemony, limey vibes. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, didn't know that the tree grew overnight, but okay, cool. So it's not lemony, limey where you cut it open and it's like really heavy in the citrus. It's almost like smelling the skin of the lime. So I'm like, okay, wasn't expecting this, but all right, cool. So now I'm walking down the street, you know, in my Versace, you know, so I'm walking down the street. I'm like, all right, let me go to the liquor store, get me some sweet rum. Liquor store is closed. It must be a town ordinance. She's closed, so ain't no liquor around these parts. So I keep walking and then boom, here come the man selling the nuts. He's like, oh, would you like to smell my fresh hazelnuts? And I'm like, yes, I would love to smell your nuts. That didn't come out right, but you catch the picture. So it's not quite chocolate Nutella. It's just the fresh hazelnut. So it's a little nutty. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that's cute, whatever. So now I'm still bopping along. Boom, we get to the gelato place. So now like you really smell like the nuttiness, but it's not hella intense. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right, let me get one pistachio gelato. And the man hands it to me and he has like a little dollop of whipped cream on. And I'm just like, I don't understand why that was necessary. So I enjoy my little pistachio gelato and I'm like, all right, cool. So I eat that up, but a part of it like dripped on my hand. So I'm like, all right, well, let me wash my hands before I go back home. So I go to the bathroom to wash my hands and I see that they have like the little soaps with the, you know, the brown wrapping and the twine, it's wrapped up. So I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta unwrap the soap. You know, it's not a push. I'm like, okay, this is a little artisanal soap. They probably got it because, you know, they support small businesses. So that's why they use that one. But the soap is a little floral. It's like, oh, okay. Like now I have this pistachio gelato like wafting in the air along with floral. But now the floral is kind of taking over on my hands and I'm like, oh, okay. Like wasn't expecting all that. So then I'm like, okay, cool. So I bop it home, bop, walking. Then I get like the faintest waft of cotton candy. And then I go to sneeze and do one of those. And on my skin, I got raspberry marshmallow. And I'm thinking, oh, you know, I've been out and about for hours. No, it was all this in, you know, a matter of minutes. So, which leads me to longevity. This did not last on my skin long at all. Well, backtrack. It doesn't last on my fabric long at all. It has no projection whatsoever on me. My skin ate this up like gobble, gobble, gobble. I barely smelt it. I have it on today. Don't smell a thing. Not a single thing. The only time I smell it is when I first spray it. And then if I really, really smell my skin, and I mean like deep like that, that's the only time I will smell the raspberry marshmallow. And not for nothing, that raspberry marshmallow that I do smell very faintly resembles House of Sillage Minnie Mouse, because I was like, something smells familiar. I looked over, I was like, boom, that's what it was. As far as longevity goes, I was really disappointed with this because it has Intense on it. So when you're thinking Intense, you're like, okay, it's going to be long lasting. I got 2, maybe 3 hours of wear on my skin. And that's reaching, to be honest with you, because it just did not project at all. And it's like, all right, if you want to put Intense on here, it needs to be intense. Now, I know enough about Kayali to know that my hopes and dreams, I wasn't going to put into this, because I think a lot of people got really excited when they started reading the notes. I know that whatever I start thinking about Kayali and they drop the notes and stuff like that, I take all of those thoughts that I have, boil it up and throw it away, because they're always going to do something that is almost not opposite, but nothing that I imagined. That lemony lime opening threw you off completely. I understood the whole gelato thing. I was like, okay, it might be light, cool. But I think a lot of people were hoping for this really decadent, heavy gourmand, and this is just not it. You know who I feel like this is for? This is for my girls who like a clean aesthetic. My minimalists, this is a clean girl gourmand. I stand by that, because it's nice if you can smell it, but for this to be intense, I'm just like, intense. That's the word y'all wanted to go for. For me, this performed more like an EDT. I said it. I'm sorry. It did. It had no lasting power on me whatsoever. Even on my clothing, because I've already been out and about in the day, I didn't smell this. Not a waft, whiff, no, nothing. A bump, nothing. And it was just very disappointing. And, you know, I was around people, so it's not like, you know, I didn't try. Had I just went to Sephora and smelled this, I think I would have sprayed it, smelled it, said, oh, that's nice, and put it right back on the shelf. I don't think I would have purchased this on the spot at all. And I wanted to let it sit and wear it, you know, a few days, because if you know anything about Kayali, you really want their perfumes to macerate. So I really wanted to take my time and, you know, not jump to conclusions with it. But of course, Kayali is known for layering. So now I'm putting my mindset into that. I'm like, all right, girl, layer it with something. I've layered it with Vanilla 28. I really didn't care for it. I layered it with Eden Juicy Apple. It just got a little too bright for my liking. I layered it with Lyra from Xerjoff, because I still had that sample laying on my counter, and I was like, okay, that kind of did something. I was like, okay, if I layered it with maybe the Fenty body cream or the EOS vanilla cashmere, I feel like that could have been something a little bit more. But I was just going through the Lyra, and I was just like, I'm not trying to use up my Lyra perfume trying to make this work. I was really trying to make it work with other fragrances, because Kayali is known for layering. So I was like, okay, let me try to get some more gourmand notes popping off. Vanilla, even leaning into the lemon, you know. The only thing I probably didn't mix it with is, actually, no, I did mix it with Minnie Mouse, because I wanted that cotton candy feel. I thought about layering this with Baccarat Rouge 540, because that kind of has that burnt sugar note as well, almost cotton candy. The only thing I do want to try is seeing how this performs in heat, because I feel like it may perform a little bit better once, you know, the sweat is going, the sun is beaming on you, and your body really heats up. It hasn't been like hella cold here in Jersey, but I think I just need one of those really, really warm days to see if it's going to last or do something a little bit extra, because the way it is right now, it's just like performance. She's not performing, she's not giving, she's on the sideline, like, get somebody else to do it. While I like the fragrance, it's definitely not a love for me. and it's not something I would possibly reach for. But I really love the fact that this is a gourmand for the spring and summer, because there's not that many fragrances, at least in my collection, that have that edible vibe to it that could carry you through summer, because it's not sweet. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's not hella sweet where it's gonna make you sick, which is nice. And then also on top of that, the nuttiness that I did get from the pistachio and the hazelnut didn't turn my stomach, because y'all know nuts haven't been playing nice with me, specifically almonds. Overall, I mean, it's nice. If you are a clean girl aesthetic and you want, you know, to jazz it up a little bit and add a gourmand to your collection, highly do suggest this, because it is light, it is bright, but then it does get slightly sweet, but not overly sweet, and it is airy and light. So I love that. But for my girls who really want that deep, heavy, edible vibe, I don't think this is it, unless you layer it with something that has a little bit more base to it. So yeah, Kayali, I'm still trying to work with it, but I wish it was a love for me. In the meantime, check out some of my other videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.